let us look into the ways to make the diet healthier. What steps can you take, or what measures should be taken? First, use less oil while cooking. Then, control the use of salt and sugar in your food. See, excess amount of salt and sugar in your food is not something good, and this directly affects your kidney. So this should be avoided. Then eat lots of fresh fruits and salads. Why? Because they are rich in dietary fiber. Then eat more steamed food and avoid deep fried food. Why? Because like I said, excess of oily food, which is again referred to the junk food. So these should be avoided in order to have a healthy diet. We should add sprouts to our diet, like the chana, okay, which grows sprouts in them. They are very healthy, they are full of nutrients. And most importantly, we should keep an eye on the meal portion, so we should not indulge into overeating. I repeat, we should use less oil while cooking. We should control the use of salt and sugar in diet. We should eat lot of fresh fruits and salads. We should eat more steamed food and avoid deep fried foods. Then our diet, we should add sprouts to our diet and keep an eye on the meal portion. So if we follow these, or following these measures will help us have a healthy diet. Now see, different people have different ways in which they lead their life. Now this different way of leading their life is termed as lifestyle. Now, when people, as a part of their lifestyle, eat a lot of junk food, chips, burger, kurkure, etc., it leads to lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases such as obesity. How is it caused? Unhealthy eating habits, overeating, reduced physical activity. Next, diabetes. When we are having too much of sugar, that is glucose. Glucose is a type of sugar in our blood. Blood pressure and heart problems. So I repeat, when as a part of our lifestyle we eat a lot of junk food, we invite a lot of lifestyle diseases, which includes obesity, diabetes, blood pressure and heart problems. Now, how do we work on these lifestyle diseases? How do we prevent them? How do we keep ourselves safe from them? We can follow these measures, like eat lots of fruits and vegetables, drink plenty of water, maintain a healthy body weight, sleep on time and wake up on time, and reduce the intake of salt and sugar in our diet. I repeat, how can we prevent the lifestyle diseases? By adopting these measures. What are they? Eat lots of fruits and vegetables, drink plenty of water, maintain a healthy body weight, sleep on time and wake up on time, and reduce the intake of salt and sugar in the diet. Adding to that, a lot of physical exercise is also a must. See, now you know the definition of disease. I'll again repeat it for you. Disease is a departure from the normal health through structural or functional disorder of the body. Now, this disease are of two types: communicable disease and non-communicable disease. Now, there is a difference between the two. Communicable diseases are those diseases which gets transferred. For example, chicken pox, mumps, all these. See, we don't come to school. We stay back at home when we are suffering from a communicable disease, in order to prevent the spread, in order to break the chain. Okay, so diseases that gets transferred from one person to another are called communicable diseases. And opposite to this, non-communicable diseases are those diseases that do not spread from one person to another, like headache. A headache is not a disease, that's a symptom actually. Like if we are suffering from night blindness, all this. So these type of diseases don't get spread from one person to another. Deficiency diseases are a kind of non-communicable diseases. Deficiency diseases are caused when we lack certain nutrients in our diet. So, the definition says when our body does not get adequate quantities of nutrients, the body becomes deficient in them. This causes deficiency diseases. I repeat, when our body does not get adequate quantities of nutrients, the body becomes deficient in them, causing deficiency diseases. Nutrients, you remember, protein, carbohydrate, fat, minerals. Now, each of the nutrient is responsible, or they perform a specific function, or they are responsible for a particular, to control a particular certain things in your body. Now, when we lack those particular nutrients, we confront a lot of deficiency diseases. Now, let us look into it. For example, if our diet lacks protein in it. Protein, where do we get protein from? Source of protein like milk, egg, etc. Deficiency disease caused due to lack of protein in our diet is called kwashiorkor. I repeat, kwashiorkor. What are the symptoms? The growth stunts, okay, the growth stops, we become anemic, then we have swollen legs. Next, protein and carbohydrate. If our diet is lacking these two nutrients, okay, where do we get protein and carbohydrate from? Protein, you have a lot of options: milk, egg. Carbohydrate, you have rice, etc. So if our diet is lacking protein and carbohydrate rich food, we may develop marasmus. Marasmus is the deficiency disease which is caused when our diet lacks protein and carbohydrate. What are the symptoms? Um, the skin becomes rough, mental retardation, all these. Next, iron. Iron rich food we find in apple, fish, raisin, etc. When our diet lacks iron in it, we develop anemia. What are the symptoms? You'll have dark patches under the eye, headache, then again mental retardation. Next, calcium. Calcium rich food are milk, eggs, etc. Now, when there is lack of calcium in our diet, um, we develop rickets. Symptoms are the bones become weak, the growth stops, all this. Next is vitamin A. Vitamins, they are also important nutrients that are to be present in the diet. When our diet lacks vitamin A, food which is rich in vitamin A are carrot, butter, etc. And when we lack these nutrient or vitamin A in our diet, we may develop night blindness. Next is vitamin B. Uh, Food which is rich in vitamin B are beans, meat, etc. Now, when our diet lacks vitamin B, we may develop beriberi. What are the symptoms? Um, there may be a loss of weight. We may develop weak muscles. These are the symptoms. Next, vitamin C. If our diet is lacking vitamin C, we may develop scurvy. Scurvy, like the symptoms include, we'll find our gums bleeding, the joints swollen, and the food which are rich in vitamin C are oranges, tomatoes, chili, lemon, etc. Next is vitamin D. The food rich in vitamin D are fish, eggs, etc. If our diet is lacking vitamin D, we may develop rickets. Symptoms include deformed bones. The bone becomes bow shaped. you'll observe it. Next is vitamin E. Vitamin E, uh, if we are lacking this in our diet, like this generally involves early aging. You develop wrinkles before the age, and the food which are rich in vitamin E includes milk, eggs,